Hey everyone! As instructional designers and educators, we've all gone through the struggle of crafting those perfect assessment questions to test our learners' understanding. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us here in crafting those assessment questions and create those perfect quizzes for our learners to take. The secret lies in giving the right directions to ChatGPT and it will work its magic for us. I kicked off this journey of creating an assessment by crafting an elaborate and well thought out prompt. I asked ChatGPT to assume the role of an e-learning instructional designer and generate 10 assessment questions for an e-learning course titled Overview of Defense Mechanisms targeted at corporate counselors. In the prompt, I provided the course content and was very specific about what I wanted in the assessment. I was looking for a mix of multiple choice, matching, drag and drop, and sequence questions. To ensure a good understanding of the course material, I set the passing score to 80%. I chose a medium difficulty level to strike a balance between challenging and accessible questions. And to offer a fair chance to succeed, I allowed the learners 3 attempts to pass the test. Additionally, I wanted the assessment to be practical and close to real life situations, so I asked for at least 4 of the 10 questions to be scenario based. And to encourage critical thinking, I required a minimum of 5 questions to be application level, where learners would have to apply their knowledge to specific situations. Now, to make things easier for you, I've included this prompt in the description field. You can copy this prompt and make it your own by making any changes you require and use it as a template to generate your own assessment questions. With all these details in mind, ChatGPT got to work and started weaving its magic. And guess what? ChatGPT did not disappoint. It came up with 10 well crafted assessment questions covering various types such as multiple choice, matching, drag and drop, and sequence questions. It also made sure to include the required scenario based and application level questions, making the assessment engaging and comprehensive. As a next step, I started going through all those questions. And of course, I had further changes that I wanted to request. So I asked it to add assessment instructions page at the beginning and the assessment pass and fail message page at the end. And ChatGPT already had all this information from me, so I did not need to include that in my prompt. For question 2, I wanted it to limit the examples to 5. The initial set of examples it gave was 10, and that's too much for a question. Then I asked it to replace question 4 with a new question because I felt the question was not testing what I wanted to assess. And then I said indicate the correct answers, which it did not do in the initial set of questions. And then I also asked it to provide feedback for correct and incorrect responses. And then it further gave me a new set of questions with the instructions at the beginning. So here I can see it's all bullet point. If you want these instructions in a paragraph form, go ahead and ask ChatGPT to do it. And maybe if you want some on-screen text and you want a voiceover to be generated, you can also give those prompts and it will do the magic for you. And then it gave me all those questions. And this time you can see it has indicated the correct answer. It has also given correct and incorrect feedback for each of these questions. So here you can see question 2, I had asked it for 5 options. So it has given me those 5 options, the correct combinations, and the feedback. So it made all those changes that I had asked for. And then I realized there was no instructional text for either selecting, dragging or dropping, or adding objects in sequence. So I asked it to generate only the instructional text because by now I have already transferred all the questions to my storyboard template and I don't want to compare what was already generated and what modifications I made to it. So I came back to ChatGPT and I said, let's go back to the assessment questions we generated. Can you suggest instructional text for each question to select, drag and drop or arrange the options and then click submit. And then I gave a specific instruction to it to just share the custom instructional text that I can append to the question stem and don't regenerate the entire thing. And it listened to me, and you can see that instead of giving it for all 10 questions, it even optimized it further. It gave me options that for multiple choice questions, this is the line that you need to append to your question stem, and so on. So you can quickly take these instructional texts and append it to your question stem so that the learners have a clear idea of how they need to interact with the question. And that's a wrap. You can see how ChatGPT was easily able to give us questions based on the content that we provided to them, and it even made further modifications as per our requirement. So next time when you have a task of creating an assessment question, make sure you take help from ChatGPT to make your life easier. Thanks for watching the video, and let me know if you have any questions or have any thoughts around this workflow in the comment section. Have a good day.